Now, first of all, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off today. A lot. Now, you cannot blame me for something that is out of my reach. Okay, you can't. The reason I say this, and the reason I say that I'm gonna piss a lot of people off today, is because we're not finishing The Last of Us 2.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Now, for those who don't know, we recently started a series called The Last of Us 2, and the reason we are not finishing it is pretty quite transparent. I tried to record it today, and I just wasn't feeling it. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It still haunts me till this day, the justification they did for my boy Joel. They killed Joel off. Joel was one of the most amazing characters in any video game that I've ever played. I mean, you were just tied with this very special bond with Elle and Joel, and for them to just boom end it like that, I hate it. I'm not playing it. Now, one thing I can do for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys want to see my reaction to The Last of Us 2, the ending at least, and I want to see it for myself because I have yet to see how it ends. So the video that we're gonna watch is actually made by a channel called Heavy Spoilers. This is the only channel that I was able to find the actual explanation to what happens throughout this game, because I'm not playing it. I can't lie to you. I don't have the energy or the motivation to play a game that doesn't suit my needs or my comfortability to, or it just doesn't suit me. I'm saying a whole lot of nothing, but it really does not suit me. I don't feel any emotions tied with this game. They just completely kill. I'm sorry, I'm just ranting. The least that I could do for y'all is at least kind of react to it.
Okay, so in order to fully understand the storyline and general meaning behind the series, we have to travel back to the first game and talk about the thematic elements of that. The Last of Us Part 1 was very much about breaking a cycle, and this was shown predominantly through the eyes of Joel. When the Cordyceps outbreak first happened, Joel tried to flee with his brother Tommy and daughter Sarah. However, she was killed by a member of the military, and Joel spent the next chapter of his life grieving and angry at the world. A feeling of hope came back when he was given the task of escorting Ellie to the Fireflies, and she was very much a young girl, much like his daughter, who was actually revealed to be immune to the virus. The Fireflies claimed to be able to extract the cure from her, but upon arriving at their facility, Joel learned that she would die during the process. Rather than go through the same thing again, in which a member of the military would literally once more take his daughter away, Joel broke the cycle, killed a majority of the Fireflies and surgeons, and then fled with them.
See, now this was the most perfect story that anybody could ask for. You're this character, like I said, you're building this bond, you're connecting with this. Joel lost his daughter already. He kind of is already emotionally attached to this girl who has no parents, they're left behind. It's like, it's the most amazing character story build up. It's like everything you could ask for in a game, it's in here. The Last of Us Part 1, not 2. And The Last of Us 2 was like the complete opposite. Like, it was just, hey, we're gonna continue the story from where we left off, but instead of continuing it the right way, we're gonna completely kill one of the main characters and introduce you guys to a bunch of nobodies who then become the main characters. Abby, Baby D, Dina, sorry. They become the main It's just like how to kill your game 101, literally. Like this shit, and you know what pisses me off? Is the fact that there's some of you guys defending Naughty Dog, the game developers who made the game. In the comment section, you cannot defend a game developer or a game franchise for ruining their game. It's ruined. I'm sorry. See, y'all know I love y'all. I know, like, y'all know I love you for real. Like, it's not it, bro. It's really not. Like, it's such a f***ed up game.
Ellie. Joel lied to her and told her that they weren't able to extract the cure, and Ellie bought it. They returned to Joel's brother Tommy, and this is where the opening of Part 2 picks up. Now, before we get into the full breakdown, we have to bear in mind this idea of cycles and breaking them. Though I don't think that The Last of Us Part 2 pulls off the theme as well as the prior entry, and I don't really think it does it that well at all, I'm going to remove my personal opinion from things for the meantime and just discuss the main elements of the storyline and what they actually mean.
You know what? I wouldn't mind.
There are several perspective
another
changes,
opinion.
and the events of the storyline jump back and forth between characters, so to keep things streamlined, I'll try and do everything in the order that makes the most sense. There's also a number of things from the trailers that were changed for the game, and it's clear that they tried to hide a certain death as best they could. Obviously, let me know your thoughts on the storyline in the comments as we go through it, but there's a lot to talk about, and the idea of an eye for an eye leading to both people losing their sight is laced throughout the plot. Now we open with Joel telling Tommy the truth about what happened as he cleans up his guitar. Tommy is clearly horrified by what his brother has done, but after Joel explains that he saved her life, he slowly sees things from his perspective and understands why he took the path he did without condoning it. Joel visits Ellie and gifts her his guitar, playing her the song Future Days, which somewhat becomes his theme and ties massively into the end. The idea of cycles is
so that song in the beginning ties into the end, which we will never get to play. Well, we could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm not finna sit there and play a game. I'm sorry.
Much highlighted by the game opening on this image of the guitar as it closes on it too, hinting at things coming full circle before a character breaks away from them. We then get a huge 4-year time jump, and alongside Ellie, we're introduced to Jesse and Dina, a pair that have recently broken up. Ellie and Dina clearly have a thing for one another, and a kiss between the pair eventually leads to homophobia being thrown their way by a bartender. Joel stepped in to save Ellie, and we learn throughout the story that Ellie actually journeyed to the hospital in which the Fireflies were stationed at in the first game. Here she discovered the truth, and upon encountering Joel, he admitted what really happened. This breaks her, and though she returns to their home in Jackson, the relationship between the two is clearly almost beyond repair. Ellie is mad because she believes her life could have meant something, but that's all been dashed away because of one selfish person that didn't want to lose his daughter.
Okay, let's be honest though. I know for a fact Ella's mad happy that she's living the rest of her life like in the beginning with Joel, although she didn't get the, give the cure to everybody. Yo, you can't even lie. Like, Shorty is living her life. She got her dad, well, her new dad, Joel, who saved her life. Whoop-de-whoop, right? They living in a secured base. Everything is running smooth like butter, right? You can't lie. Like, I don't even know how the voice actor even played for Elle. Like, I'm pretty sure I would have just quit right there. It's like, why would you even do that? They just killed Joel off in a very, very sad way. Like, you could have at least saved it for the end where we could all just cry at least happy tears that the franchise is coming to an end. But you literally did it in the beginning. Like, we couldn't even enjoy the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to suffer throughout the beginning. And some of us don't even want to go to the end. Well, I'm just saying, look at me. I'm reacting to it because I don't even want to play your shitty game.
Now, it's through Joel saving her that she perhaps starts to see things from his perspective. And though she's angry, in her eyes, she's lost a father, just like how Joel has lost her. This idea of daughters losing their father and what that can do to someone is reflected in one of the biggest surprises in the game. That is Abby, a playable character who is part of the Washington Liberation Front, or LWF for short.
So I never understood why Abby killed Joel.
This is the switch since Metal Gear Solid 2, and you spend a lot of time in her shoes. We learn that Abby's father was actually one of the surgeons that was going to operate on Ellie and save the planet. However, Joel killed him, and thus she spent years building up a body in order to hunt him down and get revenge.
So that's why Abby killed Joel. I didn't even know that. So she was just trying to slide for her dad, sorry. She was sliding for her dad. But her dad is our hero. Her dad is literally Elle's hero. Like, alright.
At one point,
so it does make
Joel
sense.
And Tommy actually come across Abby and save her life. However, the vendetta that she carries overweighs this, and she murders Joel by shooting his leg with a shotgun, and she then plays Mario Golf on his head. Ellie arrives to watch this happening in front of her, and thus this mirrors Abby discovering her father dead several years prior. Abby and Ellie are of course similar sounding names, and the two go on quests that parallel one another in many ways. Both have pregnant members of their group, a sort of love triangle aesthetic, and they both lost their father to a person that was twisted to act a certain way by the world. Now, many people, I'm guessing, will absolutely hate playing as Abby. After all, we watch her murder one of the greatest video game characters of all time, even after he saved her life. I did actually have this plot point ruined for me by the leaks, so I was kind of expecting it, but yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you took it. Now, an important point to note is that Ellie plays Joel's guitar throughout the game, and it's clear that, to her at least, this is keeping the character alive in some form or another. The idea of Joel and Ellie's memories of him really drive her quest for revenge, and she slowly hunts down Abby's group, murdering them one by one. She learns that one of the members
would have lived for that.
And after taking them out, decides that this quest for revenge might not benefit anyone in the long run. We learn throughout the story that Dina is pregnant with Jesse's child, and I think at this point it becomes too much for Ellie. However, the eye for an eye theme continues, and Abby shows up, shoots Tommy, murders Jesse, and fights Ellie, almost beating her to death. This is switched at the end of the game when the roles...
so Jesse dies too. So a main character they just introduced also dies. Damn, y'all just killing your characters. Like, how y'all about to kill the main characters, introduce some new ones, and kill them too? Like, what the f?
Reversed, and Ellie and Abby are very much opposites of one another.
Okay, so who's his
experiencing
old grandma?
the same emotions and driving forces at different times. Just as Abby is about to kill Ellie, Dina intervenes, but Abby bests her too. She almost slits her throat, but the character Levy arrives and tells her to stop. It's here that we get a big switch to the game character that you've probably grown to love to hate at this point, and we see things solely through the shoes of Abby. I'll kind of gloss over this as it just sort of tells the tale of the above from the opposite side, with some extra sex scenes in there that, yeah, these are going to get memed on for the rest of our lives, so get used to seeing this in your dreams. Your wet dreams anyway.
Shrek and Fiona.
This is to put you in Abby's shoes.
Shrek and Fiona was getting it down.
Understand why she does the
She
things
lives.
that she does.
I can't lie. Abby built like Fiona, bro.
Successful or not,
She reminds me of
see
Fiona.
multiple people having completely different opinions on it. We learn that Levy was actually a member of the Seraphites that was hated amongst the group for being trans. The Seraphites, or rather Scars, because I can't be bothered saying Seraphites anymore, are very much set in their ways and reject all forms of modern society in favour of tradition. Thus, they hate Levy, and he fled from his mother with his sister Yara. Now, it was leaked that Abby was a trans character in the spoilers, however, I do think that wires got crossed, and it's actually Levy that is. Levy and his sister save Abby's life at one point, and a bond is formed between the group. Lev is worried that things will happen to them.
That's why Abby built like a man.
And this leads to him returning.
I always wondered that.
His mother, a devout member of the Scars, attempts to kill Lev, and thus he murders her in self-defense.
She built bigger than me, bro.
Into the themes of the game, and to me, Levy represents the person that was rejected by their parents.
No hate, no disrespect though. Y'all know me, I'm a loving one.
Were accepted by theirs, and losing them made them set.
But she still built like Fiona.
Yara is killed not long after, and the pair return to their base, which is where they find the aftermath of Ellie's attack on the aquarium. Abby sets out on the path to get revenge, and thus we bring things to the same point in which Lev stops her from killing Dina. Now this is where the leaks went up to, and according to them, this is how the game ended. That isn't the case, and after Abby spares them, we do another time jump. 1 year later, we pick up with Ellie and Dina, living on a farm together just outside of Jackson. Dina had a baby, and the pair are raising JJ together, which, yeah, I'm sure you can work out what those initials mean. Ellie is completely torn apart by Joel's death.
Alright, so it kind of is a happy ending, well, at least from what we've seen so far, where Ellie and Dina get a baby by Dina. You know, Joel probably got his death avenged. I think we still have a little bit left. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's too late to play it now. It's already spoiled.
She's suffering from PTSD. It's here that we discover that Tommy actually survived the gunshot wound, and one day he brings information on where Abby is located. Tommy is clearly still hung up on getting revenge, and the frustration at being unable to achieve this has pretty much ruined his life. Tommy wants Abby dead, but Ellie talks him out of it, and it finally seems that she's learned the path of revenge only leads to more misery. Confucius famously said, "Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves." This means that if you're gonna go out and get revenge on someone, you need to realize that things can only really go one way. Now this is what frustrates me about the storyline, as it's clearly signposted at several points, and just as it seems like Ellie is about to let things go.
But here's my thing, right, with revenge. If I were to die, or if I were to like get shot, let's say by somebody, right? I don't got no, like, bro, why would anyone want to shoot me? What have I done? I don't beef. I don't throw up gang signs. I ain't beefing. I ain't dissing nobody. Here's my thing, though. If I were to die, let's say somebody killed me because of something I did way back, right? Or something I did. You know, so let's just say I die, and the person that killed me is still roaming the streets. I would want him dead, too. You know what I'm saying? I would want him dead, too, because it's like, you killed me. Now you about to feel what I felt because of what you did to me. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Like, if, I don't know, one of my mans was to die, I would want whoever killed my mans dead too. And that's where forgiveness comes into place. It all depends on what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just put it this way. Let's say I have a kid, and God forbid, my kids ain't even going to school. I'll tell you that right now. But let's say my kids get, you know, caught up in a school shooting, and they die. God forbid. All right, let's say that happens. I would want the same thing that happened to my kid happen to the shooter. That's the type of energy I'm bringing. You can't forgive people for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on the severity of the case. And in this case, Abby lost her dad to Joel because Joel killed her dad. And now Elle's about to kill her dad in front of her so she can feel the same pain.
Huh?
Make sense?
No!
That's kind of like an eye for eye type of thing. But at the end of the day, yo, Abby, we slided for Joel. Word. That's how we coming. Like, I'm being serious.
She instead decides to go back down this dark road.
Okay.
Dina realizes this and gives her an ultimatum to either stay with her and her child or to head out and try and kill Abby, which could also lead to her own death.
Right.
Ellie just can't escape the memory of Joel's murder though, and she goes after Abby, tearing
Yes.
her family apart.
Yes.
Elsewhere, we see things through the eyes of Abby, who is with Levy on the search for the Fireflies in Santa Barbara. They're captured by a group known as the Rattlers, who too manage to capture Ellie during her hunt for them. I absolutely love this scene, and Ellie manages to turn the tables on them by using her immunity to make it so that one of the captors is bitten by a clicker before killing the other after he tells her where Abby is. This is where the game starts to wind down, and we head into the finale. Ellie runs the gauntlet and fights her way to Abby, who we see strung up with Lev on some pillars. She's a shadow of her former self, and clearly has been put through the ringer, which paints her in a much more sympathetic light.
That's Abby?
Ellie cuts Abby down and almost lets things go, but the memory of Joel continues to plague her mind. The two go head to head with one another, with Ellie forcing her to fight due to holding a knife to Levy's neck. Abby, who is at death's door, doesn't put up much of a fight, but she manages to bite Ellie's fingers off. It looks like it hurt, but the fight is still pretty one-sided, and Ellie almost drowns her before deciding to break the cycle. Ellie lets Abby live, and with Lev, the two sail off into the sunset. Or it's more fog than sunset, more than anything. Now, I have seen a lot of people roll their eyes at this, saying that Ellie has come all this way, killed hundreds of people, and yet she won't kill the one person that she left a wake of bodies to get to. However, I think at this moment that Ellie realizes this cycle of revenge will lead to her losing more than she wants to give up. I would imagine that she would spare Lev, as Lev...
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
So what you're saying is she didn't even slide for Joel? She didn't even kill Abby? Is that what I'm getting at?
Lev saved her and Dina's life. However, Lev would no doubt grow up hating Ellie for killing Abby, and it's safe to say that the cycle will continue once more. Similar to Joel saving his surrogate daughter from death at the end of the first game, which juxtaposed the opening, Ellie is breaking the cycle of violence that only goes one way. So though I can see why people are angry at it, in the context of the story, I do think it works with the way that the events happen. That doesn't mean that it's really a happy ending though, and the game very much continues with its bleak and dour tone for the final scene. Ellie returns home to find Dina and JJ gone, along with what made their house a home. All that's left are her possessions and the guitar that Joel gave her in the opening. Ellie attempts to play Future Days, the song that was the theme of Joel. However, due to her now missing her fingers, she's unable to fully do it. We then get a flashback to the night before Joel's death and see that the two did have a conversation that laid it all out on the table. Ellie stated that she was going to try and forgive him for what he did, but of course, we know that this closure was robbed from her. Ellie puts the instrument down and walks off, likely looking for Dina, and we close out on the guitar similar to how the game opened. This shot of her walking away from this item clearly shows the symbolism of her walking away from the memory of Joel, something that had haunted her and ultimately led to her going down a dark path. Ellie has left behind the idea of Joel and freed herself of the burden of revenge. However, it's also a sad ending because the song in some ways was carrying the memory of the character, and in setting out on her final quest for revenge, she lost her fingers and thus cannot pass on his legacy.
I'm sorry, your fingers out. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Bro, alright, let me finish.
Her family, and this final quest, when she should have let things go, ultimately destroyed her life. However, she did do the right thing in the end, even if it came with loss. Now, going forward, I do think that the franchise will likely take the focus from Ellie and probably center around Abby and Lev as they make their way together as the sort of new Joel and Ellie. Abby is the sort of...
What? The new Joel and Ellie is Abby and that other guy? What? Yo, Naughty Dog, y'all better not even come out with the game anything similar to The Last of Us, because y'all just embarrassed it. No.
Of standing for Joel as she's looking after a child, which of course comes in the form of Lev. There are a lot of avenues that the story could go. and I'm still unsure exactly how I feel about the story. I think it's something that I need to let marinate and sort of digest over the next coming days. Alan Moore famously said that it's up to the author to give people what they want and not what they need. And yeah, let's be honest, not many people wanted this story to go like this.
No, nobody, bro. I'm gonna be honest, okay, because I saw reviews and I saw other YouTubers and I did my, like, I wanted to see what other people think, at least at the Joel, like where they killed Joel. 98.9% of people were very unhappy with that justification, like with what they did to Joel. 98.9% from my list. I did the percentage calculations too, okay? It was like a total of like maybe 22 people.
Stop the cap.
I think one person, or actually like 1 to 3 people were like, okay, you know, let's continue. I'm actually kind of satisfied. This is interesting now. No, like literally every single person was unjustified with what happened. And I am one of them. It's so cruel. It's like, here's the up part, right? Like, get this. Now, from what it seems like, the game developers, Naughty Dog, they're trying to recreate a whole nother sequel, but this time with Abby and Lev, the new kid, kind of, you know, rebonding that memory or rebonding that moment where you have to build a connection with the character and how they develop and how it's very similar to Joe and Elle's story. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You literally can't, because I promise you, I'm not buying your next game. I'm definitely not buying your next game. At least nothing that's similar to The Last of Us, that has any ties to The Last of Us. And I know some of you guys are probably like, oh, Fade, it's just a game. There's always another game. But, bro, that's the thing. The Last of Us will forever go down in history as one of the most, how do I say it? Most unique, creative, storyline, graphics, sound, like, it's just, it's got it all. The Last of Us. It has it all. And it ties you in the best ways. It's like watching the first seasons of The Walking Dead. I'm not sure if y'all watched The Walking Dead, but the first few couple seasons were like, yo, y'all really killed it. And then it's just like, what are y'all even doing? Like, y'all should have just like cut this off like a while ago, okay? And I think they're still filming, by the way. I don't know, man. Maybe I have to do what he does too. Let it marinate with me for a little minute, because I'm already sick. And to be honest, I've been getting sicker over the past couple days because I don't know, the seasons and the weather, but this like has been haunting and eating my mind, to be honest. For the past couple days, it's like, man, do I record it? Do I want to? And it's just like, why? What is the point in even continuing this game? There's no point. I have no interest in it. It's like you kind of just cut off and killed all my emotions tied with everything that we've built over the past coming years. And it's truly sad to see game developers do this because, like he said, as an author and as a writer and as a, you know, a director, you have to give the audience what they want. You know what I mean? And none of us wanted this. Okay, let's say you wanted to kill off Joel and you wanted to twist it up a little bit. Couldn't you have like made a cliffhanger or have done it towards the end? You chose to do it in the beginning, and you chose to do it in the most cruel way possible. I don't know. This was the most disappointing game though that I have ever played. And I'm almost done with God of War. Ragnarok. Sorry, not Ragnarok. Ragnarok. I'm almost done with God of War. And to be honest, that game is so amazing. Like, and I have recorded it. Don't worry. There's going to be a video about me beating the whole entire game in one video. I have recorded it. But it's just, I don't know. To me, it's really a letdown. This game was like the biggest letdown of 2022. Right? No, sorry, 2020. The biggest letdown in the past decade, because I've played other AAA games. God of War, I'm almost done with that. There's a bunch of games that I played recently that just have that storyline and that connection where I fell in love with it. Comparing it to this is just like, bro, what are y'all even doing? Like, who's writing this? Like, who's directing this? Nobody wants to see Abby and fucking what's her name? His name, sorry. Nobody wants to see that. We're here for Joel and Elle. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all killed the entire character, and y'all want us to continue playing your shitty game? Are you stupid? I'm gonna end it off here. I'm not satisfied. Maybe I'm gonna let it sit with me. Let me know what y'all think. I'm actually very, very curious on your thoughts. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. I do read all the comments still. Yeah, believe it or not, I do read my comments, and I'm curious. Like, what do y'all think? I can't be the only one who feels so disheartened by this. So let me know what y'all think. That's gonna wrap it up though. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, hopefully. I've been feeling a little sick. My nose, as you can tell, is a little stuffy. Dizzy. I think I got COVID. I don't know. We'll see though. So if I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Love y'all though. Take care of yourselves, please. Look after yourselves. And I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Love y'all. Take care. Goodbye.